Hello YouTubers, Benign Chaos here, bringing you the latest week in gaming as seen through the eyes of yours truly. Haven't really been doing all that much this last week, except for playing a bit of Legend of Grimrock, which was recently released on Steam, as well as SkullGirls on PS3, and looking at Skyrim. I'm not going to talk about Legend of Grimrock because I haven't played enough of it to really get enough of an opinion for a proper review in any way, shape, or form, but I can tell you that I am enjoying what I'm playing. So, what I will talk about is SkullGirls, which came out on April 10th, last Tuesday, and I've been enjoying it a lot. It has some elements of Blaze Blue, Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It resembles Blaze Blue in that the cast is pretty tiny, but it's really varied. You can definitely tell the difference between all the characters, which is only 8 characters right now. It's like Street Fighter in that the button layout is the same. You have your weak, strong, and medium attacks both for punches and kicks, so that's a total of 6 different buttons. And it probably resembles the Marvel vs. Capcom games the most out of those 3 that I mentioned. This is for many reasons, one being that you go in with a team of characters, or you can choose to have only one character. You get to choose between 1 character and 3 characters, or 2 characters, and the power of the characters is scaled appropriately so that a small team is more powerful but obviously is not capable of assists or switching out. One of the neat things about SkullGirls with assists is that you can choose what attack you want to be the assist out of essentially the whole repertoire of attacks of that character. Another thing that's very similar to the Marvel vs. Capcom series is that combos involve air combos and are also very easy to time, and I feel this is what I most enjoy about this game because it's very easy to pick up. The combos are really long, but they're also really easy to do, not like Street Fighter where you require very precise timing for some combos. SkullGirls is pretty lenient on your timing for combos, so as long as you can remember the order, usually you won't have trouble getting it to come out. And I just find it a lot more fun that way. Whereas in Street Fighter, I'm always sweating the details whenever I'm fighting, and I feel that takes away from the kind of the frenetic feel of the game. Obviously, the graphics are really fun in SkullGirls, and the soundtrack is actually surprisingly catchy. It's not great, I wouldn't say, but I have found myself tapping my toes while playing. One major, not major, but a thing that I noticed when I first started the game up was that the general production values seem to dip outside of combat. Production or animation is top notch during fights, but in the menus and cutscenes, dialogue, things like that, the graphics can be a little muddy at times, and also the music can replay several tracks, and it just doesn't feel as polished as the actual gameplay, which is a small thing because the gameplay is really what matters, but it would be nice to have a nice polished overall package. And one thing that should be noted is that there will be DLC characters. As far as I know, they're going to be paid DLC. There's Squiggly and Umbrella, I believe, are going to become early DLC characters, and they were announced as DLC before the game came out. So that I'm not too happy about, as many people are not too happy about DLC in general. Honestly, not sure if I'll get those because the roster is pretty awesome as it is, and I've been enjoying that game. I haven't tried it online, but I've heard good things about the online with the game, apart from a lack of modes, especially a spectator mode. No spectator mode in SkullGirls. So I also got back into Skyrim. Previously I'd only tried it a little bit before losing interest, but with all the talk of mods flying around the internet, I picked it up again, and I've been playing vanilla without any mods so far, just because I want to experience what the game was meant to be like when it was first released, and I'm really enjoying it, but I imagine I don't really need to talk about it, but I haven't gotten very far. But what I do want to talk about are the mods. I didn't quite realize what kind of mods were being released, but there are some crazy things out there now, and they run the full gamut of retextures and reworks of the user interface, which I'm definitely going to look into because the user interface is not very friendly in Skyrim. To new skins for enemies. Some of you may have seen the Spider-Man spider mod where all the spider enemies are mapped to look kind of like Spider-Man but with lots of legs. It's kind of creepy looking but also pretty awesome. There was one, I don't remember what it was called. It was a huge tower, had lots of resources inside, and it looked really fancy. There were mods that affect your gameplay in minor ways, like one that made the horses faster, which is nice because the horses are very slow in Skyrim. And there are armor mods as well, and weapon mods. I'm sure many of you have seen, but if you haven't, check this out. There's a mod for My Little Pony skin, sort of, where your weapons look like Pinkie Pie, I think the character is called, and your head looks like Pinkie Pie. It's hilarious. Definitely check that out. You can see it on Kotaku, I think. Toplessrobot.com might also have the video embedded, but it's pretty hilarious. All of this is really reminding me of Minecraft, which I did play a little bit. I didn't get too into it, but I played it regularly. And it's the same kind of user-generated content that you're seeing on both fronts. And it's cool to see this kind of stuff come up. And it's one thing for the mods to be generated and to be put out onto the internet, because that's always happened for PC games. But it's cool that the developers or the publisher is encouraging it, and they're actually putting in place a forum to post and download these different mods, which I think is really cool. User-generated content is a really neat way to go and gives the game a lot of lasting appeal, so I definitely approve of this direction. Anyway, that's what I found interesting in this latest week of gaming. I hope you found some of it interesting too. If you enjoyed the video, please rate, comment, or subscribe. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.